Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Roger Pack Show. My name is Roger Pack, obviously, and you're here because you want to listen to someone just talk about anything and everything. So wild watching that for the first time being live in front of everybody and just taking it all in that, oh my gosh, you've been given this platform to have your own show just to talk about anything you want to. Who in their right mind would do such a thing? A crazy person, exactly. Perfect, like, great segue into the person who did it. But yes, this is my platform to talk about anything and everything that I want to talk about, and, it's gonna be serious, it's gonna be funny, but most of all, you're gonna feel something. So, y'all need to know who I am first, though, right? Who your, uh, charismatic raconteur, so to speak, is going to be. So, my name is Roger. I hail from the southern region, which means I make really good fried chicken and macaroni and cheese, and I know how to make sweet tea. I was a mechanics dude growing up, so my grandparents owned this really big shop with all these really big trucks, and I got to climb up and down them all the time. And, lived a really simple life until one day it was not so simple, right? Because we all grow up. Everyone hits this point to where they have to do something, right? They feel that change them, and that was for me. Around 13, I was like, "Ooh, I'm different." And not different in the way of like, "Oh, I have a talent." No, different in like, "Hey," that kinda different. And so, growing up with those emotions in the South, it's kind of a hard thing, right? Because the South isn't really known for liking its gay folk too much. So, learning how say it isn't so in the South, what? Not like in gay folk, homosexuals, but yes. So you had to learn. I had to learn how to like feel these feelings, know what to do, and how to become me. And that was a wild ride. So going through the teenage motions that most of us do is a lot more angstier for me than most. And then and then I got a job, which means I got a car, which means I had freedom. Let's fast forward till 21, right? Because we don't need to waste time on all of those angsty teenage years that we all experience, especially when we get into our age of consuming and being able to purchase the consumption of alcohol legally. And you see that, oh, there's an adult world out there, and you realize that you have to grow up a little bit. That's really hard when you didn't really know how to, be a child to begin with. So I got thrown into the great world of the service industry and ended up being a restaurant manager for a little while. Service industry friends and family are a different breed of family. It's the ones you stay up with till 4 o'clock in the morning, usually 4 out of 5 days a week, right? Because you close together, you either open together or, combination of both. And that's when the fun really begins because you have a lot of late nights and you come down off of this high because you've been there since 5 p.m. and it's closing time. You've had to break everything down. You've made a lot of money and yet you don't want to go to sleep. So you go out, you go to the bars that are still open because you're the last bar that closed that serve food. So now you only go to the ones that serve alcohol. And that's where I discovered this sense to be able to entertain people. I've always loved to talk. I've always loved to be the center of attention, but I really didn't understand what that was, right? Wanting to, have all eyes on me and being able to turn the room with just a few quick witty words from this little sassy southerner's mouth, right? So that's how I got into the restaurant management because I was able to talk my way into it. And then I decided service industry is not it anymore. Not the management type of way. Because let's be honest, if you have the ability to do that for a very long time, you're not gonna be much of a personality much later on. It kind of drains you. Be nice to your service industry people. And then I got an opportunity of which one doesn't really hear about, right? I had some regulars. They came in fun fact, startup of a tech company. This tech company hired me. Fast forward 3 more years, and I moved to the great city of Raleigh, and that's when it really, really, really took off. That's when I realized the power that I had just to be able to talk and make people have a good time, and that's when I really leaned into, "Okay, what can I do to, use this that I have, this charisma, this uniqueness, this nerve, and a little bit of talent to make people laugh, to make people have a great time, to make people feel something." And that is how the person in front of you came to be. You start a journey and you don't realize where it's going until it's going to happen. And then you manifest all of these things that you want until you're doing it. And then from there, the next step of the journey begins, which is why we're on this show, because this is my first episode. And so that's enough about me. Now, my first episode, the topic is going to be a kind of a wide topic. The takeaway is friendships. The takeaway is what friendships are meant for. Are they all good? Not all of them are bad. What do you get out of it? And what is the levels of a friendship? Because there is a different level. And look, ding dong. Ding dong means that we have a guest. Hey, Pedro.
Hello, Roger.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. That was a great introduction about you. I love listening to that.
Thank you, thank you. I tried, I tried. I wrote some of it, and the rest of it I kinda made up on the fly because I was like, "I don't wanna sound too scripted," you know?
No, I thought it was really, really good. That was even if you were scripted, it wouldn't come out as good. So that was really natural. It's really you. It really gives me a view of you a lot more. I know you before. This is not the first time you and I speak. So, but this gives me a different view of you, of where all this comes from.
I like to be it's weird putting yourself out here like this, Like, it's so people tell you that in life, if you just want to do something, you have to do it. That
Yeah.
still doesn't take away, like, the, anxiety of, putting yourself out there and just, being you, which is, the biggest thing that I always try to advocate for is just be you, and other people will be themselves around you because they feel relaxed, they feel that
They have two options. Either they like you or they don't, and that's fine. I mean, that's the only two options that really people have. Either they're gonna like you or they're not gonna like you. If they like you, fine. If they don't like you, fine. Well, I want you to be honest about it. I mean, I think that's you were talking about friendships. If you're gonna be honest about it. If you like me, great. If you don't like me, great. You're not changing anything.
and in friendships, you don't always like everything about your friends, you know?
Right.
Like, there's flaws in everybody. One of the best things about friendship is that someone can know all of you and still love you. That means that they accept you for, if you're chronically late, if you aren't able to open these jars all the time, or if, maybe they have really bad taste in relationships, and sometimes we just have that friend that just can't pick a good person to save their life. And it's all right. It's okay. We will sit there at 2 in the morning with the bottle of wine, watching The Notebook, and let them just kinda, cry it out, Just kinda get it
Well,
out their system.
I don't know. If you don't cry while watching The Notebook, something's wrong with you. I don't care.
Listen, listen. I It's funny because I saw, uh, one of the Batman movies, with Bane. It was the last one in the trilogy, and I cried like a baby when I thought Batman died. Like a baby.
Oh,
And me and my friend are sitting off to the side, and it's funny because my friend, he was my roommate at the time, this jock, bro, dude, do CrossFit, all of that. We're just sitting there boo-hooing watching Batman because we thought Batman was dead, and it was the wildest thing. So I agree with you. If some movies don't, like, pull at that heartstring and, like, get those tear ducts to flowing, you might be a serial killer. I don't know.
I've met a few.
And it's funny because, like, emotions are one of those things growing up in the South that, like, we weren't really allowed to, like, as men, like, express, right? Like, you just kinda, like, grit your teeth and you go with it, you know? You don't talk about sad
I'm
things.
not, I'm from way further south, and growing up with, you know, Hispanic family. Yes, we can hear you. My father was like that. He was tough and gritty about a lot of the things like that. You just, suck it up and go. Don't cry. Going, yeah. I'll never forget the one time he told me, when, me and my cousin got in a fight, and I come home and I got, black guy, what happened to you? Well, I fought with my cousin. I fought with him. What happened? Did he beat? Yeah, well, you better go out there and beat him up now, because if not, I'm going to whip you. So I had to go fight again. If not, I was going to get a whooping from my dad. I
Ah,
didn't work with
that
him.
was the thing, if you threw hands my grandfather was very much like that. If you threw hands and you got into a fight, you better win that fight.
Better win.
If you
Don't come home loser, because you're going to get another whooping from me.
I was about to say, you thought that first one was bad, you're gonna get another one.
So
And it's one of those things that I as a as a male who's like, "Hey, you can't express these emotions or you have to, like, be the strong one." It was just always instilled that being the strong one meant you couldn't show those emotions. And I'm like, "That's not." As I've gotten older, I'm not sure when it clicked for you when that happened. My mid-20s or so, when I just determined that being able to show those emotions and talk about them now versus when I was, like, in my, like, teenage years and, like, my early 20s where it wasn't that great to express those things, so they came out in other ways. And it's one of those things where I'm grateful that I learned how to do it, but you gotta unpack it after years.
it was complicated and not easy.
No, you gotta unpack it. So the sooner you can learn to deal with your emotions, the better. Take it from me and Pedro.
Well, still not. I don't think it's still easy nowadays, even though the ambience about it has changed a lot for most of those, um, for being in that situation, trying to figure out who you are, what am I supposed to be doing, what direction, who I like, who I don't like, and we kind of, I don't know, we've kind of demonized more now than before as well. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know, because growing up, I was talking to a guy, a friend of mine the other day, and we knew who was who and what they were. We never, in our class, we never shunned anybody away.
Mhm.
We never did that. Why are we doing that so much now? That's okay. That's fine. That's who you are. And usually, man, dude, I love the personality. I love hanging out with this guy. He's funny as hell. Oh, but I don't care. And we didn't care. My class, guys I grew up with, we didn't care. They were guys. They
Mhm.
played. A lot of these guys went to play baseball. They played, soccer, and they ended up playing, semi-professional leagues, and they were everybody. So I don't know.
It's one of those things where I think a lot of people expect one thing because there are stereotypes, right? So, people expect one thing, but then they're met with another, and sometimes their brain cannot compute about how to, like, interpret or adjust to these expectations that they've had of how people should act, you know? Like, or how someone should be or how someone should express themselves. And I think a lot of the time a lot of people don't realize expression is one of those things that a lot of people will just do differently. A lot of people are going to make it happen. The not Not what does Keone mean? I can't. Speaking of Keone, I'm super happy to do this show. And Pedro, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you do here at Keone Productions?
On Keone Productions, I have a podcast as well. It's called On the Count Podcast, in which we interview either inmates that have come out of prison and are doing something with their life, or just coming out of prison. We want to know what their life is after prison. Not while prison. They got too many podcasts. They talk about prison and what they did before and all that. I want to know, what are you doing now, and how you made that switch from being in prison and having that moment of enlightenment that you're like, well, I can't keep going down the same road because it's just not leading to nowhere. What is the switch? I like to know that. And I also like to talk to people that's worked in the prison system like I did. I worked in the prison system for 27 years. Um, and I like to talk to those folks because I want to know also, what are they doing now they're out, but why the business and why they got out of the business, because it's a business.
Didn't
Prison is,
know you worked in the prison system. I had no idea.
I did that for 27 years, in different, levels. As a retired as a lieutenant, but I also was a correctional, a counselor, was an officer, um, did other stuff. I was an instructor. I was a language instructor for many years as well. I was on a SWAT team for 16 years doing that as well. So uh, I
Getting
did.
into the thick of it. That's what that means. That's exactly what that means.
I,
Or at least kick the door in to kick my ass. One of the two.
I've kicked doors in. That's why I said, yes. I've had sit down with serial killers. They are just, they're different. They're, they're different people.
They really are. So do you think that your time in like experiencing being around like inmates and watching, because obviously your podcast had to be inspired by like what you see and how they act while they're in there and what happens when they come out, right? Do you see those that have like decided this that they want to change, like they want to get out of the business and like them keep their relationships and friendships outside of that? Like do they mean their word and stick to it?
Which question? The one from Larissa or the one that he just asked? Because, the question Roger asked, it is they have to make the change. And the change doesn't really come. We put them in prison, and the change doesn't come because they're in prison. The change comes because they want to change, and the prison gives them that option. Hey, this is your time to change. A lot of times, some of them take the advantage of using that time to better themselves. And I mean better in a good way. Some other guys do take that time to better themselves, to be better criminals or be stronger or whatever. But some guys do take that time to better themselves and say, well, this is not what I want to do. What do I need to do? I got now 15, 20 years to put things in line and see what I can do better once I come out. So it's a change that they have to make and accept. We put everything in front of them. We give them the opportunity. We give them the all the
Resources and tools.
resources, everything. We give them jobs. We train them. At least the federal system does, but it's up to them to change. Because I had a guy, he was already 40 some years old. Oh, I'm going to change. I'm going to do this, and I'm doing great. He gets out. Well, good luck. You got great family. I already knew his wife. I met his wife. Met some of the kids before. Like 18 months later, I run into his wife because his wife is a manager, is a big time manager for Chick-fil-A. And I run into her. She's doing that. What you doing? Oh, yeah, this is my. She's managing like three or four different, for the area. And she was in that store that day. I said, "Oh, how you doing? And how such and such?" She just gave me the look like, "I'm done. He can't change." He was already back in prison.
You and some people, like you said, they have to want to change. You can't will somebody to change. You can't wish them to change. They have to want to change. And I think, like, she said she was done. That relationship, that's it. You put enough strain on it and it breaks. It's one of those things.
There's a question out there. Do you still have friends from that you made from the prison system? Yes. Somebody asked that question. Yes. The answer is yes. I do have friends that I keep in touch with. Um, I have inmates. They were inmates, and I consider them friends now that we out of the system and they've changed their life. And yeah, they've been on the show, and I do consider them friends, and we're still in touch. Um, you can't help it. It's a human thing. You're gonna make certain friendships. You just gotta know where the line is drawn. And when you work with, not work, when you have these inmates that are real inmates, they know there is a line, and they
Mhm.
don't cross that line, or they don't make you cross that line because it creates other dynamics and situations that you don't want to be
I
in.
mean, I could see conflict right off the bat
Oh
because
yeah,
any preferential treatment you give to that one inmate that's your friend, that sparks a whole
oh,
other
there's a whole new,
issue right there.
because then everybody starts seeing it. Oh, why are you treating that way? Then you got to treat me this way. Why are you doing? And it becomes, yes, it's a big issue. You don't treat anybody, don't give any special treatment to anyone because it causes issues. And also, inmates will try to put you in that situation because they run game.
Mm.
Oh, and they want you to be in that situation because once they have you there, they have you, and they can use that situation for other situations. And then you got to start doing
Now
favors,
you gotta do it.
and it just keeps escalating. And I've seen it really go from here to here to here to here, and I'm like, well, that's why you're in court, and you know, I'm on the other side.
Right
Yeah,
about that. Well,
yeah.
Pedro, sir, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate, the chit chat, and you are officially, like, the first guest, so thank
All
you.
right, that's awesome.
And how can people see your show? What time and day?
Our show is on Keone Productions, and usually we run it Keone Wednesdays between 3 and 4. But we record it and we post it, and we send out a link, and it's just available for everybody to come back and watch. Sometimes we record them, post them on next week if we can, but usually we have them live. We try to mostly have them live, just like we're doing right now. There's not a set of questions. We let everybody run it and see what happens. But usually it's just that we wanted them to tell the stories. Also, we want to know what the story is now that you are. Oh, sometimes the story, we had a great story, the last one about everything that went wrong for him, ended up in jail. That was a great story as well, our last show. And then we had another one that before that, a big change. He went from drug addict and criminal now to just helping people and making a better life. He just knew he
You
had to.
never know who's gonna change when they hear these stories.
It's amazing. All right. Well, thank you, Roger, for having me here. It's been a pleasure talking to
Thank
you.
you,
You know,
Pedro. Talk to you soon. Bye. Pedro's great. He is amazing. He is awesome, awesome, awesome. So, great segue about friendships. Not all friendships are great friendships, okay? Some are like seasons. They have to change. They run their end. The course has got to stop at some point in time. Usually these seasonal friendships though bring something, right? You learn something from it if you are able to give the space needed and help them if they need it in return. That's the unspoken rule about most friendships, right? Most friendships are made not because you like each other's interests, not just because you eat the same food, play the same video games, or have the same circle of friends, but because the universe kind of believes that there's something there. There's something there that needs to be brought out of you to grow, or there's something you can offer to somebody to grow. Kind of like watering a little seedling and watching a tree, right? Needs a little bit more water along the way, and not every person can stop by and give a little water. But what I think is that once you've set your time, once someone has given to you all that they can give, or some you have given to someone all that you have to give, those friendships have to stop. It's like a mood vampire because it turns into one of those things where if you don't have a reason to keep the friendship going, or if that person is changing because what you have done for them or what they have done for you has set them on their next chapter in life, that friendship no longer serves a purpose. And it doesn't have to be a breakup, so to speak, because let's face it, breaking up with a friend is just as bad as breaking up with a significant other. There's a reason why they were your friend. Now, it doesn't always end on mutual understanding, but friendships that outgrow each other should. And that's one of those things that I believe a lot of people mistake when people grow and you outgrow each other. A lot of people mistake that for someone just doesn't want to be their friend anymore, or that someone will want to wish them not well. And that's a thing that I firmly believe that you can wish somebody well while you may not still be friends with them. You may not be as close as you were. You may not see them every day like you used to. You still want to wish people well. Oh, ding dong, there's another guest.
Howdy!
Hey, how are
You
you?
doing? So you are Roger.
I am Lisette. I am. How are you?
Hi, I'm Lisette from Rise with Lisette Live Talk Show. I'm Lisette. It's good to be here.
I'm glad to have you here, hun. So
Thank
tell me a
you.
little bit about your show.
Well, my show is called Rise with Lisette, and it's a show about encouraging and inspiring and uplifting people. And we have different guests on our show. We tape it live on Mondays. Well, it's the second Monday and the fourth Monday of each month. Okay, and we just have a good time on our show. Sometimes we have dining, dining conversations and about what I do and what I see and when I go out to eat and stuff in different restaurants. So we have fun on my show, and I love it. And hey, I'm glad you're up here, and congratulations on the Kiani Productions channel. All right.
Thank you, Lizette. I appreciate that. That was a great segue then for me talking about people and growth and relationships and things like that for you to pop in. That was perfect.
It is perfect because I want to elaborate on something that you said. It kind of reminds me with friendships. Sometimes, like you said, people they don't want to let go. But I look at some friendships like a rocket booster. You know, um, Sometimes when the little rocket goes up, they have those boosters on each side of the rocket. So at a certain point, as the space shuttle or whatever goes up, they kind of like just fall away because they
Mhm.
serve their purpose. So I guess that's how it is sometimes with friendship. But then again, it somewhat depends because just because I'm not all in your face every day, just because I'm not calling you every day, does not mean that we're not friends. Sometimes people associate, well, you're not my friend anymore. You don't call me like you used to. We don't go out and do this. I am, but I'm not in that space where I can do that every day anymore. But just know that I still love you. Just like you say, you don't have to, not wish people well because you're not all up in their face or not friends anymore, so to say. I think it's a great topic. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you, and there is something to be said, like, there's different levels of friendships too, right? Like, there's still people that I make an effort to try to talk to, like, every day just because of they're not a booster, right? Like,
Mhm.
they're a fuel rod. They're important to my support system and to my life,
Mhm.
and I am important equally to them as well, and so it's one of those things where you've got to be able to identify that level of friendship, but as to you're saying, like, life changes, you get more responsibilities, you have a lot less downtime, and, some friends have gotten mad because 'cause they're like, "Oh, I see you scrolling on social media, liking this and doing that, but you haven't responded to my text message
Mhm.
in, like, 5 hours," and I was like, "Well, 5 hours ago, like, I had a really stressful day at work, it was a day full of meetings, I'm just now getting home after sitting in an hour of traffic, and I need my walls to myself for a little bit to do that social recharge and be a
Right.
good friend."
Absolutely. Because sometimes, I absolutely agree, because just because I don't, you know, just like I have a very wonderful girlfriend that we used to, we grew up together. very close friends. I don't call her. I can't remember the last time I called her, but you can tell when people are friends in your heart because whenever if you haven't seen them or spoken with them in years, somehow or another, when you connect again, it's like you never lost that connection
It
because
was
it's,
like you
it's
just
in your
talked
heart.
yesterday.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like you just talked yesterday, and, you're like, "Oh, okay," and you just catch up on life. And it's like I those friends are some of the best friends in the world. Because like I said, they're that fuel rod. They're the most important part is those friends that know that, "Hey, we may go some time without speaking or some time without seeing each other, but no, the next time we see each other, the next time that we speak, it is going to be an event."
Exactly. I mean, have you ever had like clingy friends, like clingy, just they're needy, they're all in you, like give me my space, you
And they
know.
wanna be part of every conversation, every social media post. They see you like it, they've gotta like it and share it, and it's just one of those things, like, I've had crazy it's funny you say crazy dining stories about some of the things y'all talk about because one of my clingy friends' stories is a crazy dining story because I told them I was gonna go eat at a different restaurant with another friend, and they showed up at that different restaurant,
Oh
and I'm like,
wow.
"I don't know how you found me." You please leave me alone?
I know, but they stalking you. Ooh.
Like,
Ooh.
in the bushes? Okay, just kinda like, "Boop." So,
Now,
what
that's a
is a
weird
crazy
one.
dining story that you would care to share, Lizette?
Well, I'm gonna share it. Okay. Let me do it. Let me do it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna share it. Now, I went to this, well, it was a fast food restaurant. So I didn't go inside, but I went through the drive-through. So I said, now, my husband and I, we ordered our food. So when you have separate orders, you're supposed to bag it separate, not put all the stuff in one bag when you got to put your hands all over their stuff to give somebody else to hear your little nasty hands spread. They supposed to do that themselves. That's the way you're supposed to do it like that. So
Mhm.
I said, now I drove up. I said, I want a bag. Okay, please bag it separately. Okay. Okay, great. Pay for my food. This, that, and the other. I said, please tell her the bag is separate. Great. Got to the window. So here she has this big box of stuff, this big bag, this big box. Here, I said, where's the order with just the rice? Because I call it rice. I said, where's the rice? Like that. She said, she
Not
said,
the rice.
it's in there within the box. I said, but I asked you to bag it separately. I said, I need you to bag it. So she comes to the window, and guess what she gives me? A bag.
Bag.
She gives me a bag like here. I said, no, no, that's not how this goes. I said, you do it. You do it. You bag it. If I got to put my little nasty hands all over people got all of my rice and stuff. No, no, you bag it.
And there's no
And
point me bagging it then because 'cause I'm touching it anyways.
exactly. She got an attitude with me, like, like who do you think you are? I
Why
said,
are you
oh
telling me to
my,
do my job?
exactly. I mean, this just like, you know what? I even hate to go to any restaurant nowadays because I know there's going to be some drama. I don't care wherever I go, there's going to be some drama. And I'm saying, like, is it me? Am I the weird
Is it me?
cuckoo
Am
one?
I the drama?
Maybe the cuckoo-ness follows me sometimes. I don't know, but it's kind of crazy.
A cloud of cuckoo just hovers over you.
Cool, 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 cool. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't understand it. I be asking my husband. I said, did I do something wrong? Did I expect
Was
too
it
much
me?
from people or something? What's wrong with me? But it's crazy.
You can't listen. You can't expect too much out of people because 'cause they're gonna expect a lot out of you. So it's like, if you want a lot out of me, you gotta give a lot of me of you. Like, you can't this
Hmm.
this this is a scale, and it has to be balanced. I don't have time. I don't have time.
They
It's
want
funny.
my money.
You listen, it is Econ 101, there is supply and demand. You want my money, I want food. You supply food, I supply money. Just put it in separate bags. I
Exactly. I mean, don't give me the bag. I mean, that's
It's just
I'm
so
saying.
funny because it's like you're doing this. Like I used to work drive through at Burger King. Okay, that
Mhm.
was one of my very first jobs.
Okay.
And one of those things is like there's a drive through time. You need to get people out of that window. Y'all have a goal. We have a goal to hit. I wouldn't have time to be sitting there arguing with you about no bag. I would just take it back it myself, put it like get out of
There
my
you
drive
go.
through. Go.
And I used to work as a waitress. I think it was like more like a restaurant, like in at night, and stuff at night and
Mm.
stuff like that. So so people come in drunk, all overnight restaurant, all night, thing, 24 hour thing. So they come in all drunk and they say like, "Well, I want me some, And I said, I want me some eggs and bacon and all." I said, "Great, And then if I don't have it for them in 3 minutes, ma'am, where's my eggs and bacon and grits?" I said, "Man, sir," I said, "this is not Burger King. You can't have it your way." Okay. I mean, just give us some time and we're gonna get it right for you. Of course I got a penny for a tip, but that's
Right.
okay too.
Sometimes you got it. You take what you can get because it's like, would you like raw eggs and raw bacon? I don't think so. You'll be fine.
Right. And look, I even had one time I had a nerve to say, I said I was working hard that day and I always treat my customers really nice. Every now and then you get some of them weirdos trying to be smarty poo on you. So I said, "Now, how many eggs?" At first I said like, so I was supposed to ask him, "How many eggs would you like?" Instead, I asked him, "How many grits do you want?" And he said, "Ever how many it takes to make a pile?" I'm saying like, "Oh, I did that wrong, didn't I?" I said, here I go back to counting bits. One, two. No, I'm just joking.
That would be hilarious.
Mm.
Oh, Lizette, hun, tell the kids again where we can find you and what days we can find you.
All right. I am on Mondays, the second Monday and the fourth Monday of each month. Oh, the last Monday. 4 5, because sometimes it's five, ain't it? See that y'all got me all screwed up again. I have never. Okay, yes, it's the second Monday and it's the last Monday of each month at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We tape it live and we love to have the comments of the people. And we also want you guys to make sure y'all subscribe tonight, all right? If y'all haven't subscribed. So
Yeah.
thank you so very much for having us.
Thank you,
Or
Lizette.
me.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah,
mean, all the multiple personalities that live in our head, it's fine.
for sure. You don't even want to know what's going on up in there. Now
They
you
all got
can
different names and different house keys. It's okay. Bye.
thank you. Much
Thank
success.
you. It's funny. She was talking about, I was talking about counting pile of grits. When I was training a server one time, when I was a server, I told them they had to count the ice for inventory every time they filled up the ice. So, what does he do when my manager comes around and my manager sees him with an ice scoop for a 5-gallon bucket, counting pieces of individual ice, scooping them into a bucket, and finds out that I'm the one who's sent him to do that? Fun times. Fun times. I'm a good person. I really am. I truly am. I just like to have a good time, and sometimes it just makes people laugh? That's the funniest thing, and I there is a group of people, they're just gullible, and sometimes you gotta make your own entertainment, and I yeah, speaking of entertainment, Burger King drive-through. When I was working the drive-through in the wee years of my life, I had a manager, and this particular manager, love her to death, she's probably watching this because we've been friends forever and ever and ever and ever now. This particular manager, it was just me and her on a closing night shift, and we're running as hard as we can to get everything done because for some reason there was a baseball game and no one told us. So, drive-throughs wrapped around the building with 3 people, which is me, the manager, and the person closing the lobby. And things are going well until a pair of tongs get thrown at me because I have a sassy response to what my manager has to say. Now, in those days, it was okay to do these things. Nowadays, if a manager threw a pair of tongs at somebody, it would be on TikTok, and then everybody would be up in a rigmarole about it. What better time than now to talk about the Emoji Movie? So the, Emoji Movie is, a very, very, very interesting, movie. It's one of those, movies where if you like it, it's okay. If you don't like it, then it's one of those meh. It came out what? 2017, I think is when it came out? Yeah, I think it came out in 2017. I mean, my favorite person on there, well, favorite people would probably be Maya Rudolph, which plays, Smiler, and Patrick Stewart, who plays Poop, and then I believe Anna Faris plays Jailbreak. And, it's one of those movies to where, got a really bad rap, right? Because it didn't get the best ratings when it came out, but it's aged much, much, much better. And people say it was like cliche, and I'm like, well, it's a movie. They have cliches, like stereotypes. It all exists for a reason. It's to prove a point, to get a message out, get you to commit to a cause. Um, what I think is that a lot of people just don't like emotions. A lot of people don't know how to express these feelings of anger or embarrassment in a way that is productive. So when they see a show or a movie that is translating this into terms that are almost childlike, because let's face it, it kind of was childlike, right? Like, because it was PG. I don't think it was PG-13. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was PG. They see it in this manner, and it's almost like, huh, how can they make it seem so simple? I wonder if, a lot of people realize emotions can be simple, but you got to do the work to know how to express them. I think one of my favorite quotes from the movie is actually from Hoop. And one of his things is it's this because I believe in you. And believing in your friends is one of the most important thing that you can do. And it's being able to express that emotion clearly is a very, very important step to being a better human being. And if you're not working to be a better human being every day, what are you doing? And why are you doing it? Because I believe, oh, ding dong, look at that. You set me up just like that. Hello.
Hi!
How are
No!
you?
I enter and they're reacting. Lol. I'm dead.
That was like so perfect. That even if we had planned that, that couldn't have been better because you just so calm, cool, and collective, and then boom, on
They do
chaos.
that to me very often, so it's so now they're on guard now because I heard the doorbell. But hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I was listening to the stream and I love it. Love reminds me back when I was in McDonald days. I was like, oh, he was a Burger King. I was a McDonald's
Flashbacks.
worker.
It's funny. I made biscuits at McDonald's when I worked at McDonald's in the morning before when I was in high school.
Oh my
Yeah, so
god.
I'd get up and be there like at 5 in the morning and make like 8 dozen biscuits and then go to school.
I love that. I never got past the fries part, so it was just fries for days, which I have no problem with. Just you know, never got as adventurous past the tower of fries I ever got.
Don't ever run out of fries either. It's the worst position to be
Oh
in
yeah, like
because
running into that ice container is like the scariest thing because once that door closes, it feels like, am I gonna get out or am I that girl from that's stuck in the movie from that zombie movie, Zombieland movie number 2?
yes, where you're stuck in the walk-in. It's like, well, this is how I go.
I think I'm stuck with the fries.
Ah,
Not
that would be God. That would be such a way. I mean, French fries. It definitely isn't the ice cream machine since it's always
ugh,
down. But
those never work, so they're like always moldy. So I'm like, at least
thanks, but no thanks. If I wanted mold, I would just go to some crummy hotel and use their shower. Thank you.
True, true story. If I wanted the salmonella and lose a couple pounds, I would, but life is worth more than that. So,
Just a little bit, just a little bit. It's like when you get the stomach flu and you're like, "I'm 10 pounds away from my summer weight loss goal." It's like, there was a better way.
hey, I mean, Emily from Devil Wears Prada said it best. She's so close to her her goal weight, but I don't think I'd ever be that dedicated.
No, no, I love food too much, and B, I don't I couldn't do it. I'd be like, "This is miserable, and I don't want to life. I don't want to do this. This cannot be life."
No, that's why the only diet I have is work out enough to where I can eat when I can and what I want. Amen.
Exactly, exactly. Like, I don't wanna be ripped. I don't wanna be like Hugh Jackman and Deadpool and Wolverine, like, they don't even wanna be that, but they get paid to do it, so that's a difference, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't personally want to do it because 'cause I'm not gonna get paid to do it, so it's like, I don't wanna work out 3 hours a day and eat
Oh yeah.
nothing but chicken, broccoli, and protein shakes
Yeah, but
for
I mean, for hey, a couple millions, I'm like, okay, we can do this. Personal
like,
trainer, I'm down.
I'm good, right? Like, sign me up if I'm gonna get paid to be in a to be in a movie to look like I was on Baywatch,
I'm there.
go, give it to me.
I'm there.
Oh,
I will show up 4 a.m. for that.
every day of the week, every day
Every
of the
day.
week. So, Regine, tell me a little bit about what you do at Keone Productions and the show that you have.
Hi. Okay. So what I am now doing at Keone Productions is with my partner who is not here, Henry. We are doing a new show called Rent a Hen, and basically with Henry, we pretty much it's a new show that's in a work in progress. Not sure what the dates to show yet are, but it's a pretty much a funny mockumentary style by parodying certain everyday situations and with some pop culture references. And we kind of bring our own personal interpretations to the mix. And of course, with how social media and how everyone interprets things nowadays, like even the language we have now, lit and alpha, and all these things are like, how are we? What does this mean? Definitely, we're trying to not show our age, but we are definitely showing our age. So just not
Ah,
it's a fun journey so far, but hopefully we will get you guys the start date and we will let you know when we're on live.
yes, that sounds amazing. So this is what you have. One of the first things you have to do is you have to get hot dogs, and instead of chaperones, HTOGOGO, it has to be HTTDOGO because
Oh,
hot
I
dogs,
love that.
right?
You'd have to join us then.
I will be more than happy to do it. My best friend, who was my roommate for a hot minute, she had oh, and I love that little baby
Oh my god, that would be a great thing to incorporate, but have to talk to the partner in crime about the
dog.
planning of it because it's like it's a push and pull, like you have a partner
Mhm.
and you want to make sure that like they're happy with it and you're happy with it, but of course, like your
It's
theme
a
was
relationship. It's a
yeah,
relationship.
yep,
Like, just because you're friends in business, I don't know outside of,
yeah,
the show life, but, like, it just because you're friends in business doesn't mean you can't be, like, friends, right? And, like,
yeah.
that there is that push and pull of being able to be like, "Okay, this is how far I'm gonna extend my, I guess, authority, and then this is how, like, far you can push back on it, and vice versa, because
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta be able to make decisions together and talk, like, you can't it's not so and so
Oh
show plus, starring guest
yeah.
stars,
Mhm.
it's a partner show.
Oh yeah,
It
or just explode and figure out from there, which is great too. Don't talk
start
to
from ground zero sometimes, right? Just nuke
ground
it,
zero.
and then it's like, "Okay, alright. Now that we have a level playing field again, let's
Like
get
we're
this shit
we're
show
done
back
being
on track."
mean. We're done being a-holes to each other. Like we've taken that week off. We're like, okay, can we start again? Are we cool again? Here's a piece of chocolate, my peace offering.
"Do you like me?"
Yeah, will you work with me again? Can we please? You were nice once. Like, I think we're okay, right? And then it's
We
like,
were
no,
great
it's like,
friends.
that's okay. I'll come back. I mean, I'm not like this the consistent needy friend like what you guys were talking about, but like
You
um
know,
this was a great partnership. Can we go back?
go back to it, and, you gotta have that vision, like, you have to understand people's, like, limits and stuff of,
Okay.
like, how far they can push it,
Hmm.
because if, like, they can't push it and, like, really, like you don't know what someone like, the limits of the relationship or partnership.
Hmm.
If they, for
They for
some
some
reason,
reason
don't
don't
like
like
you,
you,
and
and
what
what
is
is
this that
this
has
that has
popped up
popped
on
up
the
on the
screen?
screen?
Is
Is
this
this
is this you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not Eeyore.
Yeah, I actually I originated from the Keanu production show Asiatic Gen X, but we're no longer on air, so here we are starting anew.
I mean, and that's a great thing to do because and let's face it, as great as this first episode is going, it's gonna pale in comparison to season two's first episode,
Mhm.
and then you keep going, right? That's
Yeah,
the way it's supposed to. So, like,
a great
being able
journey.
to exactly, you get better, you change,
At
and,
least
like
I hope so. we we just hope we get better and not fall apart live.
It's funny, because I had so much anxiety about doing this today, like,
Hmm.
such crazy amount of anxiety. Thank God. I heard an echo. Did you hear an echo, Regine, or was I
I
just crazy?
No,
Okay.
there was an echo. I thought I was like missing my Xanax o'clock, but I'm fine.
Nope, nope, it's both of us. We both missed it. That's what happened.
We missed our Xanax o'clock. We're good. We're almost done. So
We're
okay,
we're almost done. We're almost done. 6 minutes and counting.
yeah, 6 minutes
But
and we'll get it. Sorry, Keone. We're under medicated today. It is okay. The anxiety is
one
working out.
day we'll be over medicated, and that'll be even better.
That will be the best. You'll just see like whoa, the little the lights.
Medication helps with that anxiety because it's one of those things. Like today, I was like, "Oh my god, am I going to be able to do this for an hour? What am I going to talk about? Will people like me?" And then I had to remind myself, "Bitch, just do it. If people don't like you, they're going to tell you. And do you care? If you do, then you don't need to be doing this."
I mean, you wouldn't have your own show if people didn't like you, right? It's like I think someone likes me.
It's like the pick me people, right? Like pick me, pick me.
And that's fine. We're perfectly fine being pick me's right now because it's not like we're asking for everyone to come in and hang out with us. We're just like, you know what? I'm gonna be pick me for a party of one, and that's totally fine.
Go and support my little show, please, and thank you.
We're sorry, I'm not Mr. Beast and giving out thousands of dollars, but please.
that's if I ever had coins like that, right? Like heavy hardcore coins, I would probably do the same. They'd be like, "Here's all this money," like da 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 da.
Love
Because
me.
community is one of those things. Like,
Hmm.
if you think about how we, got here,
Hmm.
it was because other people had to work together to get us here, right?
Exactly.
And that goes back to the, like, beginning of time. One person didn't invent the wheel, one person didn't make this process, one person doesn't make law.
Nope.
It takes a village, and to
Hmm.
be able to, like, give into that community to watch it grow.
Hmm. It's great. As chaotic as the process and everything is, it works in some delusional way sometimes.
Yeah, and, like, and that's the thing, like, sometimes it works, and, like, delulu goes a long, long way. A little delusion does the heart good, I promise.
Delulu is the Salulu. That's all it is.
Let's put that on a coffee cup.
Yes. I think it was a hot like phrase for a while there, and then it just like dissipated and like everything else in the world dissipate. We're just aging ourselves at this point, trying to bring in young lingo in.
It all circles back. It all circles back.
The circle.
Ugh. Circle of life. Regine, thank you for being my last guest, baby girl. I
Well,
appreciate
thank you
it.
for inviting me. Love it.
Thank you. Thank
Can't
you.
wait to watch for more.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You should be. It's
Yay!
awesome and it's fun and it's a great platform and you're doing great. I can't wait to see the growth and what you have planned next. So,
One day I'll show up in cosplay, don't you worry.
oh, love that. Do it.
Ah,
Embrace the inner you.
okay. Bye, Regine. And thank you, everyone. Oh, gosh, where do I begin? Thank you, Nina's. Thank you, everyone that. Oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. So, oh. So, SF Peaks, Joey M, and Nina's, thank you so much. Y'all have been gifted subscription memberships to Keone Productions. So, woot woot. How long is that membership for? A month's membership? Keone, confirm? Yep, yep. So you get 30 days of that membership. So woo woo, appreciate it. Use it, spread the word, tell people that you really enjoyed watching this. You really enjoy Keone Productions. Specifically, you really enjoy Roger. Thanks for everyone that is being here. I really, really, really appreciate it. This being my first show, I cannot tell you the ball of energy that I am right now. I feel like I can go and fight a bear now that this is all over, and I feel like I would win. I know that is some heavy delusion on my part, but it's one of those things where, if you believe it enough, it could just be true. Could just come true. Is it dreams do come true? They do. Sometimes. In your dreams. Get it? Wasn't that funny? Oh, everyone, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Y'all, yes, bear versus man. Don't you worry. I'm not your typical man. I'm a homosexual. It's fine. It's fine. You'll feel safe in my presence. Everyone, have a fabulous night. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Keone, for giving me this opportunity. And that was the first episode of the Roger Pack Show. See y'all next time. Bye.